Hey everyone, welcome to this. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Healing Hearts podcast, a show about self-care, healing, and topics regarding mental health. As it's okay to not be okay, majority of the time. Like I understand. And my name is Joshua Dixon. I am the founder and designer of Admireware, and I'm your host today. And it's just me here in the studio. And I thank you so much for allowing Admireware to be a part of your life, be a part of your journey, as we're all in this together. Your story and your journey is far from over, and we're thankful to be a part of your life and to be a part of your journey and for you to be a part of ours. As we're a family, we're all getting through this together, and tomorrow, and you ultimately make tomorrow worth fighting for. Today, we're going to talk about just catching up on things. I know it's been a while since I've made a podcast episode, and there's been so much going on behind the scenes here at Admireware that I couldn't necessarily talk about in a short form content video on social media. But I mean, I've been really going through the trials and tribulations for sure. But I'm going to make it more, like I've always said, like I'm working harder and harder to be more consistent. I'm actually here really early. If you're watching this today, it's November 30th and it's 9 a.m. Usually I would have recorded the podcast a few days prior and I would have it uploaded and it would have been available at 4 a.m. But it's just been sidetracked by so much. I've been working my butt off and barely even seeing a cent from that, but it's okay. And I'm a little less than a week out from it making 16 years since I was attacked by my family's two pit bulls. From the anniversary is on Tuesday, which would be December 5th, 2023. And typically a week prior and 2 to 3 weeks following the anniversary, I started having a lot of nightmares and having an inability to sleep. And these nightmares range from a lot of different things. They used to be primarily just the accident, but now as I've gotten older, my nightmares during this time consist of my biggest fears or the biggest traumatic events that I've been through. Like the one time that I woke up in the operating room, or waking up and getting physically beaten by my ex partner. She used to wake me up in the middle of the night, and I used to wake up to getting my butt kicked a lot. Um, I've been having nightmares about the surgery that I have that's coming up in a few months and the challenges of that and possible side effects or possible negative outcomes. I've been having dreams about my dad when I was a kid and the abuse and trauma that I went through with him. And then there's the accident with being attacked by dogs or the multiplicity of that. And I always sit and I reflect. And I know that I'm not able to get sleep, but I like to be proactive with that time. If I can't go back to sleep, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna get up and do something different and be better than I was yesterday. And that's where I'm at. Here with you guys, and it's a beautiful time to be here. And today's thought is like, if it cost you too much, if it cost you your peace, then it might be too expensive for you. And that goes with so many different things, but let's break it down on a smaller level. What I mean by if it costs you your peace, it might be too expensive for you. Is we all have certain thresholds. We all have certain emotional capacities, a certain broad band of how much we can actually endure in a given day or in a given week or in a given month, until the point where we feel like we're being burdensome by something that's stronger than us, being consumed by it, being defeated, or being having this intense sadness because you're feeling overwhelmed. And before I get further, it's how I like to look up the definition so that this can be educational for me to be able to provide actual insight to to the topics that we're having. So give me 1 second. I'm looking up emotional capacity. Emotional capacity is a measure of your ability to overcome limiting beliefs, your ease in adapting to challenging situations, and the quality of your relationships. No matter how talented, no matter how talented, disciplined, or value driven you are, if you don't have high emotional capacity, you'll fall short of your goals eventually. This is a definition by predictiveindex.com. Emotional capacity is a part of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is defined by the ability to perceive, use, understand, and manage and handle emotions. Um, and in today, talking about if it costs you your piece and it might be too expensive, is especially in today's society, we're not really taught to how to deal with anger. And anger is often a mask of fear. It's often a mask for fear. If you're angry about something, if someone lashes out about something, there's often an underlying concern regarding behind it. And that's why I always give people, a certain majority of people, benefit of the doubt, because there's always something under the surface that we're not having a talk about. But this mask that sits on the top is actually keeping us separated from actually talking about something that can be more in depth or be more driven and actually be the root to the problem. Holding anger costs us emotional capacity. Being mad at someone costs us emotional capacity. Being frustrated about something that's outside of our control can cost you your peace. Worrying about something that's far from the present moment can cost you your peace. I often say like 85% of our life is outside of our control. It's in other people's hands, or it's in the future, or it's in the past. Something that we can't necessarily be involved in, There's only so much that we can do. And just know you're doing the best that you can with all that you got. You survived 100% of your bad days. Sorry. Just had to take a sip of coffee. I love coffee. You survived 100% of your bad days, but trust me, I know that you can get through it. And it's not easy. It's definitely hard. Sometimes it's hard to love someone from a distance. I was talking with a friend a few days ago, and they were asking me about the relationship that I have with my dad. And if, I mean, I don't know how much you guys have been here, but I talk about my dad sometimes and how we do have a complicated relationship. And it's like we can talk, but we can talk for too long. And that's our limitations. Like we can talk, we can basically do elevator conversations. Like, hey, how are you doing? How's things? How's work? Yada yada yada. And then that's it. We don't really dive deep into the surface because there's a lot of problematic words that are usually said, and I just disagree. And we agree to disagree on a majority of things, and that's totally fine. But I love him from a distance, even though he's blood and that he's my father and he doesn't live that far from me. It cost me too much of my peace to have him in my life each and every day. It cost me too much of my peace to have someone who's leeching off of me, and they may not want to be a better person or may not want to work towards better. They just want to be enabled by you, that costs too much of my peace for me to allow you to have an active role in my life and in my peace. Because allowing people who may not be the greatest for you to have control over your life may ultimately take you away from yourself, take you away from those who might actually need and value you, and take you away from opportunities that may come. Because now you're focusing your research on this person that may be emotionally, mentally, or physically draining for you. And it's okay to love someone from a distance, especially if there's someone who, isn't positively contributing to your life. And that could be someone who gives you affirmations, That doesn't have to be money. Everyone always thinks like, oh, if you're broke, you don't need to be in your life. No, you can be financially insufficient and be a great person in people's lives. It's the value now that like we give one another. You can give someone affirmations. You can just check in and be like, hey, how are you doing today? Hey, how are you feeling today? I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you sure you're doing okay? Or like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's go hang out and maybe go on a walk or go on a hike or something. It's showing up for others and listening is one of the biggest things that we do that don't actually cost a lot. Actually doesn't cost anything. Is most people just really want someone to listen. And if you listen to your friend, or your best friend, your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your spouse, even, family, friends, parents, daughters, sons, if you listen to that person you care about, that's what matters. Majority of people, they want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be valued. It isn't always about having an answer. We're getting caught up to the point where like we don't listen to people. We just like, hey, go and answer for this thing that you're dealing with, and then they move on. But it's like, no, I don't want an answer. I just want someone to listen and to validate my concerns and my experiences. And if this person may gaslight you, they're known for gaslighting or um making you invalidate how you feel, then maybe there's someone that you need to love from a distance. And it's hard letting people go. And being 24 years old, I've learned now than ever is that like people are gonna constantly come in and out of your life. Some people are there for a season, some people are there for a decade, some people are there for a chapter. But life carries on. It carries on with or without me, right? And sometimes, we outgrow some people. And sometimes life happens. People have friends might have kids, they might get wrapped up in that in the family life or career changes or religious choices and etc. We all have our own independency. And that's one thing I love so much about life is that we all are different in our own way and yet we all are very similar. We have the same emotions. We have similar to the same needs. Sometimes we have similar traumas that evoke the same emotions. Empathy and love can save this world and can create peace. And if they're not willing to have a mature and adult conversation about, even conflicts or even just about everyday conversations, then maybe that person is costing you your peace. Maybe that's costing you your peace. Or maybe driving that particular route to work every single day might be costing you peace. Maybe change it up. It's okay to change up certain things and it's okay to, you know, to have conversations that are difficult. I love doing that with you all here. Is we're having these healing heart conversations where we get to talk about things that are often hard to talk about, but yet they make us better. And I'm always open to listening. I love listening. I love learning because I know that, yeah, I'm 24 years old. Yes, I have an educational background. Yes, I read a lot of books and I read a lot and I learn a lot, but there's still so much that I don't know about this world, and I'm not an expert in a lot of things. And even the things that I am expert in, there's always room for growth. I refuse to let someone call me great at something because I feel like if you call me great or the greatest at something, then like you're taking away my room to improve. We all have room and we all have growth to improve. Your emotional capacity may be low today, but it doesn't stop it from being better tomorrow. That person you might have passed up on replying to their text messages or on their email or their phone call. You might have not had that capacity in a moment. You're just undergoing so much stress and so much trauma with what's going on in your life. There's no hard feelings. And you may reply to them a week later and they might be upset and they might be confused, but having these honest conversations like, hey, I'm going through something. Hey, I am enduring a lot right now and I'm fighting battles that I tell no one about. And I know you might not want to be there for it, but just know that I love and I care about you and I'm not avoiding you because I'm mad at you or I dislike you. I'm just going through the motions of the oceans right now. And even if it's a conversation about like potentially giving someone less of your life that you used to give them a lot of, is trying to at least have that mutual conversation like, hey, like this is a lot for me and I'm not sure if I'm able to handle this anymore. And I'm going through a lot right now and I'm not sure that my values and my needs are being met in this relationship, platonic or romantic. And I think that there's a separation that's happening here, and there's some things that we can work on. But if we can't work on those things, then it's what's for best for both of us is to love each other from a distance rather than hurting each other by being closer. And I've had some of those most uncomfortable conversations with some people. Even like I went through a breakup during the time that I lost my grandfather back. Well, I call him G Pops, but not a lot of people know that I call him G Pops. So my grandfather, he passed in May, and there was so much that I was going through with that loss, but then the lack of support with my romantic partner at the time, and I'm not gonna speak too heavily into the concerns that I was having, but there was a lot of differences that created conflicts for us, and but the lack of support is what really broke the straw for me. Not being there for for me losing my grandfather and basically undermining my emotions made me realize is like I don't think we have the same interests and I don't think we have the same capacity for one another. And I think it'd be best for me, be best for you if we just move separate ways. We love each other from a distance and no hard feelings, but it's okay to not be invested into my journey and to not be invested into my and to admire or not to be invested into my life. But if you can't show up for me and you're supposed to be there, then I felt alone. And you shouldn't have to feel alone if you're in a relationship. And there's times where we do often feel alone and feel abandoned and feel neglected, but that wasn't my first and wasn't, and I wanted it to definitely be my last time. And we moved on, and I'm doing a lot better now, um, and maintaining my peace, but maintaining just staying humble I'm very humble. I go through a lot of adversity, and I go through some humility with the way people treat me and the way people are in public. And sometimes social media can be a huge burden on me. And so I treat everything with a great moderation. And I give it its distance and its time. Some things take up more time than others. Some things take up more of my emotional capacity than others. And some days I'm really wiped out and I'm really tired. And there's things that we can't take out of our life. We have to go to work. We have to keep that job. We have to stay in certain relationships. We have kids involved. I don't have kids involved, but some people do. There's a lot of things that that we're obligated to, and we have to have those responsibilities. But then there's just certain things that, like, if it costs you your peace, then it might be too expensive. It's weird doing these video podcasts because of, like, I don't know. I can often look at myself and I can, like, laugh and I can have a smile about it, and that's a part of, like, my self love and self care journey. Is like, sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. And sometimes I laugh at myself in the mirror. I read and listen to these back sometimes, and I'm just like, man, I've grown so far and so much. But I listen to so many different stories in this community, and I read so many messages, and I'm like, man, like, I love being human, and I love being able to help others tell themselves that it's okay to feel human, and feeling human means so many different things. And understanding, like, how can we talk about boundaries? How can we talk about control? How can we talk about anger? How can we talk about hurt? How can we talk about depression and CPTSD and surviving the days that we don't want to survive? You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you think. You are more than enough. And you're fully capable of getting through any and every obstacle that stands, and marches in your way. You are stronger than what your mental health says about you. You're stronger than what your experiences says about you. And yes, you are a product of your past. You're a product of what you've been through, but you've overcome a lot, and you're still going through those journeys and those battles. And I admire you for fighting those battles you tell no one about. I admire you for giving 200% effort, 120% effort, even when you feel like you're a $20 bill, or you feel like you're $100, but you wish you felt like a million bucks. And on the outside, people think of you as a $1 million bill, and they like, dang, that person radiates so much. But yeah, that person may be going through a lot. You may be suffering in silence, and I envy you for that. Like, I love and admire you. And I want you to always, you know, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in the way that you need to be taken care of. And we often spend our whole lives wanting care from others that we can often give ourselves. There's things that, yes, you can get from a relationship, you can get from a romantic partner that you can't get from yourself. But often we spend our whole lifetime waiting for someone to treat us the way that we want to be treated. But often we don't even know what that is. And it starts with treating yourself the way you want to be treated, and treating others the way you want to be treated. And that will start to come towards you. Is doing what you love, being who you love, and trying what you love can attract those who will love and care about you, and who are potentially on similar paths as you. And there's a poem that I made over the weekend regarding like my own hurdles, and things that I have adversity, and um I have limitations with. But there is optimism in it, optimism in the road ahead. Like during December is a difficult month for me. I had my suicide attempt in December. I had my life changed forever when I was attacked by two pit bulls December 5th, 2007. In December, there was snow. I have PTSD towards the snow, but I love the snow. So I love the snow and I'm fearful of the snow at the same exact time, because when I hear the crunch or when I feel the snow, it often sometimes brings up a flashback of me sliding on the snow and getting covered in snow as I was being mauled by the two dogs. And if both of those dogs were on the same page, I would not be here today. And I thankful that my dog did the best that she could to save my life, even though she did half of the damage. She fought against that other dog, but I was in the middle, and she did the best that she could to save my life. She sacrificed hers to save mine, even though it caused a lot of damage. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And I thank her for that. I don't hate her. I don't hate anyone. Hating someone takes up too much of my peace. I've survived 61 surgeries, being mauled by two pit bulls, sexual assault, and domestic violence, and child abuse, bullying, cyberbullying, bullying in public. I've been spit on. I've dealt with tons of racism and discrimination from even I've been discriminated because even my disability status and because of the way that I look, my facial impairment. There's a lot that consumes my peace, but hate will not be one of those things. Being mad at someone will not be one of those things. Babies aren't born into this world hating people. That's a learned behavior. Dogs isn't raised into this world, isn't born ready to kill people. That's a learned behavior. That's a learned trauma response that they're developing. And because someone hits me or bullies me one day or trashes me in my comments one day, don't mean that I'm a a terrible person that deserves to die. That person may be going through something and they're just using me as an scapegoat to let out that frustration for what something that they're dealing with. And it might not have nothing to do with me. And I try not to take it too personal. And sometimes it hurts. Words hurt. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That I hate that saying. Words hurt a lot, and it depends on who tells you the words. But they hurt a lot, and they sit there with you at night when you're laying by yourself, or when you're taking a shower and you're rubbing your body. And if you have struggle with body dysmorphia or self-esteem, if you struggle with body positivity like me, you might hear those thoughts echo in your head. But it gets better with time and with care and giving yourself so much grace and understanding that it's okay to be kind to your mind during those times. And all of those things, that negativity, it's costing you, so much valuable time, and costing you your smile, it's costing you your peace. Your emotional capacity is being overdrawn by giving too much power to the things that wants to consume you, rather than giving power to those that want to make you better, that want to see you whole. The poem that I made on Sunday and posted it on Monday. Well, I made it Monday morning in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m., about the time that I woke up this morning, and I've been up ever since. My limitations are defined. My heart can often be my demise. Life sees the prize, but what's in my sights are the clear skies, with stars that rise. It isn't about what's greener. It's about protecting and watering what I have. Staying humble to the present moment and pay homage to the past that cast bags onto those who didn't ask. Life never lasts, but what has is our love. But our love endures a force from above, saves lives as abundance untold. Beyond the dollar that hollers, a story unfolds. Hollering appreciation and admiration are the only wealth. Transactions of heart, a bond, and stealth. And sympathy, where echoes chatter, are love, the melody, and life truly matters. Love and hope and effort can get us through these challenges. December will be the last month that I'll be in this warehouse space. And I will be moving this warehouse space back home for at least a year while I go through surgery and get my nose repaired because I have a broken nose. I'm not able to breathe through my nose. I have to breathe through my mouth 90% of the time. And my nose hurts often. Used to hurt like a 10 out of 10. But now I've gotten used to it. So now it's like a 5 out of 10 on a daily basis. They're gonna take a lot of bone away from my rib cage and use it to repair my nose and to build me a new nose. And there's gonna be some skin grafts involved and a lot of challenges ahead for sure. And I'm going to pivot a little bit from doing mostly apparel to doing more accessories, admire wear accessories going forward into next year, depending on how things go. I don't see this one year as a failure. I see it as plenty of room for growth. There's plenty of clear skies and beautiful moments in this year. There's challenges. I lost my grandfather. I lost my favorite auntie. My grandfather, I lived with him for 13 years, and he passed away at my hands. And I forever honor and pay homage to him. And being here in this space, I have no regrets with being here and having awesome, outstanding moments here. And though I gotta take this mini sabbatical, but it's for my health, it's for my peace. And having a broken nose is definitely costing me my peace. And it's been broken for 3 years, and a lot of the damage is because of the domestic violence relationship that I was in. She caused a lot of permanent damage. And no, I don't hate her. I don't talk to her. No, we don't date now, and I haven't seen her in a very long time, but I still gotta deal with the consequences of what I went through in that relationship. And that's okay. Life carries forward, and I have a beautiful support group around me that's holding me up during the times where I least expect me being able to push through. I'm carrying the torch, and I wouldn't be able to move forward if it wasn't for this community and it wasn't for everyone that's around me. I'm leading the way, and everyone has given me purpose to continue to walk down that hall and lead the way for all of us towards days of hope, of healing, of the road to recovery, of profound resilience, of profound discovery, and being able to make tomorrow worth fighting for, and to take it one day at a time, and take it 1 year at a time, and take sobriety one day at a time. And there's forever love and admiration here. I thank you and I love you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Healing Hearts podcast. I please would like you to leave a like and a comment on the respective platform that this is posted on, because this is shared everywhere. And share it to others if you feel like this can be valuable to the next person. But also just thank you so often. Just thank you always for being here. You give me so much hope. You give me so much purpose. You give me so much value. And I hope I give you so much value, hope, and purpose. And I admire you as much as you admire me. And together, we will achieve, endure, and get through all of the hurdles and obstacles in our way. Because we are a team, we are a family, we are a community. And if you want to check out the new podcast t-shirts, you can go check them out at admireware.com, or you can type in healingheartspodcast.com. You will also find them there as well. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and never stop being you. Excuse me. Never stop being you. You make tomorrow better. You make tomorrow worth fighting for. You are enough. You are loved. You are a hero of your story and ours. And you are a survivor of your experiences. You're not a victim. You're a survivor of your experiences and of your life. And what you've been through and how you feel about it is valid, and it's heard, and it's seen. And I see you, and we see you. We thank you for being here. This is a safe place and a safe space to have these conversations that are hard to talk about. We're healing hearts, and we're healing together. And healing isn't linear. It's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. But we got this. We're gonna get through this. Every step of the way. Love you. Bye until next time.